This video is brought to you by Black Moon Games. Check out their products at shop-black-moon.com. Tonight we're playing one of the most anticipated games that and most requested games on the show, Dune, Adventures in the Imperium from Modifius. I'm going to tell you that if you're a fan of Dune and this RPG, please hit that like button down below. We'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more of these sessions, it lets us know that that you're interested in these, and just comment down below if you're a fan of Dune like I am. I've been anticipating this release for quite some time, so I'm really excited to have it on the show. We've got a great GM, great cast. Stick around. Also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we love showcasing all sorts of RPGs here. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to Victory Condition Gaming. We're playing Dune, Adventures in the Imperium from Modifius. There's a link in the description of this video that if you enjoy this actual play and would like to pick up a copy of the PDF version, go ahead. It's an affiliate link, so it does help. It doesn't cost you anything more. It kind of puts a little bit of credit in my Drive-Thru RPG account, so I can showcase more RPGs on this show. So thank you so much. We've got a great GM. Will, you're GMing this session for us.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for stepping up. I'm a big Dune fan. I love Dune, and I'm excited for this next movie. I thought about GMing this, but then I'm like, you know what? Will's an even bigger fan than I am. I wonder if he'd be interested. And thank you so much for stepping up to the plate to GM this for us.
I could not be happier. I love Dune so much. One of my favorite sci-fi IPs. So good.
It's great. It's been a while coming for this RPG, so I just can't wait to kind of give it a test drive. The adventure that we're doing tonight is called Wormsign. It is actually the quick start for the Dune RPG, and the link for that is also in the description below. It's not going to cost you anything, so if you want to try it out, just like we're trying it out, feel free to download it and give it a try for free. I'm gonna just preface this by saying I have tried a lot of 2D20 systems, and this is what the Dune system is based off of. I'm interested to see how they kind of tweak the 2D20 system to fit the IP. So very excited. Also, let's go around and introduce our players and tell everyone who you're playing tonight. I'm gonna go clockwise and go right next to Will with the one and only Brandon. Brandon, thanks for coming on. You're not. This is like your first Dune experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I have heard of Dune, but I've never read the books, watched the miniseries, watched the movie. Apparently a new movie is coming out for Dune soon, so I might watch that, or I might just go back and read the books first, and then be that guy that was like, the books are better.
I will say that's probably the case with the movies that have been put out so far. I'm excited for the new movie as well.
Me too.
Brandon, who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Corbin Bralick. He is a reformed spice smuggler. So we'll see how that plays out.
Excellent. And just below you is Austin. Austin, coming into the VCG show for Dune. Thanks so much for being a part of this cast.
Always. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Are you a big fan of Dune?
I have read Dune. I read Dune many years ago, and I remember absolutely loving it. I haven't read it recently enough. But I've kind of been listening to some media about it, just as a random coincidence. So this is really funny timing. I'm quite excited to play.
Excellent. Who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Hassan Diago. I am a servant of House Atreides. Excellent.
And the one and only Josh Melville is with us. Josh, thanks for coming on. I think you've been a big fan of Dune for quite some time. You were even saying that you were listening to the audio books here before.
Yep.
Yeah, leading up to the show.
Yeah. So I started listening to it, and unfortunately, our library only lets us hold on to it for 7 days. I never got to finish it, but it's really good. I really love the sci-fi. The worms are my favorite characters in the book. I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good salmon worm, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting take. We were just talking about the whole recycling your urine because water is so scarce and things of that. But the assassination attempts and this kind of like there's a spy element to it, so it's really cool environment to thrust into an RPG. I'm excited for the new movie. It's been so long though since I've seen the old classic movies, so now I'm going to have to go back and watch those.
Absolutely. Josh, who are you playing tonight?
Marcus Sin, a Swordmaster apprentice, and I am really wanting to become the main Swordmaster of our house.
Excellent. I guess that leaves me with my character. I'm actually playing Talia Carroll. Talia was like a street orphan that was adopted by House Atreides, and I kind of grew up with the family. They kind of adopted me as their own and kind of raised me in House Atreides. And I'm a little more reformed, and I know a little bit of the higher end society and how that kind of works, but I still have held on to my street culture, I guess is probably the best way to put it. I really am still kind of longing to get back and be a part of the underground there on the streets of Arrakis. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit shifty. I can kind of play both angles here with the high end, with high society, and with the underground of Arrakis. So we'll see how Talia does with this adventure. So without further ado, let me just ball up the show, throw it over to Will. There you go, Will, it's yours.
All right. Well, let's kick this thing off. So just to set the scene a little bit for you all, you are all in the service of House Atreides in one form or another. In Hassan's case, that's a pretty obvious servitude, right? You are a servant of the house, but all of you are doing work for them in some fashion or another. And so the house, someone from the house has given you an assignment to go and check out some potential smuggling activity, some spice smuggling activity that's been heard to be taking place across the shield wall. And the shield wall is this huge, enormous rock wall that protects the city of Arrakeen, where the capital of the planet is, from the vast open dunes where the sandworms roam and the elusive Fremen have been known to be sighted from time to time. You've been outfitted with still suits, which, as Josh mentioned earlier, is a suit that basically refines your body's water so that you can live in the desert and you can spend time in the deep desert without any water other than what you take with you. And so, yeah, that's where you are. And so, just really quickly, there are a few tools here in the ornithopter that you're flying, and there's only room for the 4 of you in it. So it's just a 4-seater, right? And there are some compasses, binoculars, tents, things like that. As far as weapons and that type of thing, you have only what you carry with you. So your character should have, some weapons, and that's that. All right. Any questions about that part?
I'm good for right now.
Awesome. So I'm going to read a little bit of introduction to you really quick, and then we'll get going. So the sun glares off the ornithopter windshield as you crest over the immense stone wall that surrounds the city of Arakeen. Before you stretches an ocean of sand, a vast desert that covers the entire planet of Arrakis. While the cockpit is air-conditioned, you can see the shimmer of heat haze rising from the waves of the dunes ahead of you, stretching beyond the horizon. You have set off today to investigate reports that a group of spice smugglers might be operating in the area that your house has a contract to harvest spice from. It is your job to find their base and, if possible, put a stop to their activities. However, spice smugglers can often have useful contacts, and occasionally the loss of a little spice could be worth finding a new ally. So, first things first, we need to find out who is flying this ornithopter, because you're already on your way over the shield wall. One of you has to be flying, right? So which of you is it?
Would we make the make
So
Hassan do it?
You can make whoever do it that you like. They should hopefully be somewhat good at the move skill.
Not great. I mean, 6. I mean, not horrible, but
yeah, I'm not great either.
I also got a 6.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that's going to be me then.
All right, Marcus.
I guess 7.
Marcus is our pilot then. All right. So, Marcus, what I'd like you to do, as you guys are flying over the shield wall, and the craft does a lot of the heavy lifting and the piloting, but I do need you to go ahead and make a test, a move test. And so this will be our first test of the game, and we'll kind of explain how the dice work a little bit. This is going to be a 0 difficulty test. So in Dune, you can have tests that don't have a difficulty, and they're more to allow you to kind of prep for what's to come, and they can help you build momentum for future things that you'll need to do as you kind of go through the course of our adventure. So a 0 difficulty move test. So what you need is 2d6. So every roll in this game is going to have at least 2d6. Well, almost every roll. Your roll will have to have 2d6. So, and then your target is going to be your skill. So we mentioned move. So it's going to be your move. And then I also need you to select a drive. So what's driving you for this mission that you've chosen to take for House Atreides? And you have 5 drives. You've got duty, faith, justice, and power. And you also have some statements that could help guide you as to when some of those might be more appropriate than others. But your choice to pick the drive, and the GM usually picks the skill for the test.
Okay.
So which drive?
Duty is what drives me for this.
Okay. So you've got duty, and what's your score for duty?
6.
6. All right, and what was your score for move?
7.
7. All right, so you add those two together, and your target for piloting will be 13. So you're rolling your 2d20, and you're trying to get 13 or under. This is a roll under.
And you said 2d6, but it's actually 2d20.
2d20, yeah, 2d20.
Okay, on just one of the die.
So however many
combination.
No, you need to get, so you're not adding together, it's just whatever score you get on each dice. And you're looking for multiple successes potentially. So you might get 1, or you might get, as many as 5 if you're rolling more dice.
Okay. Well, I've got a 12 on one and a 5 on the other, so I'm assuming 2 successes.
That's correct. So you get 2 successes. And so this generates for you some momentum. We talked about momentum a little bit. And so your team together has a shared momentum pool, and you're going to get 2 points to go into that pool because of your roll. So you're successfully piloting the ornithopter. Yeah. And everybody has 2 points of momentum that you can pull on from now on, unless someone spends it. All right.
Okay.
So you're flying, you fly over the shield wall and the vast expanse of dunes the namesake of the planet Arrakis, are arrayed before you. Seas and seas of dunes. They go on forever as far as you can see, with some rock outcroppings, small and large here and there, mixed out among them. But by far and away, it's mostly sand. So you have some general coordinates to fly toward, and as you head that direction, everyone will have an opportunity, if you're not piloting, to make a test to try and see if you can spot any signs of the smuggler base.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for this, everyone will get to make a difficulty 2 discipline test. And so difficulty 2 means you want to get 2 or more successes. And so you're going to be making your pass over the kind of the coordinates, the area where you've been told to look for these smugglers. And let's have everybody make a difficulty 2 discipline test. And for this, we need to select drives as well. So for each of you, actually, let's think about this for just a second. So what is driving you on this mission specifically? And this will become kind of your default drive that you'll go back to if you don't have something else that makes more sense to roll throughout the rest of the adventure. So I'm just going to iterate through those drives really quickly. So we have duty, meaning I follow the orders of my house, and it's as simple as that. We've got faith, meaning God will place me where I need to be. We've got justice, meaning smugglers are criminals and they need to be punished. And we've got power, meaning that smugglers, allowing them to operate under our house makes us look weak. And then we've got truth, which means investigating the smugglers may reveal that there is more to this than we expect. So you can choose any of those, but that'll be kind of your driving, your main drive for the course of the adventure. What do you think, Doug?
I think mine is probably going to be power, because my ultimate drive is to, or my ambition, I should say, is to kind of be the main figurehead for the underground of Arrakis. Like, even though I'm kind of with the house, though, I want to quietly become the head of the underworld, I guess.
Yeah.
Arrakis. So
cool.
I'm going to say it's probably power.
So it's power for Talia. All right. What about for Hassan?
I would say duty. It's my ambition is to become a renowned spy for my house. So anything I can do to further my house's motives is going to be the direction I take.
Perfect. And for Corbin?
It's probably also going to be power. I'm just trying to stay alive so that I can become rich. So I got to do whatever it takes.
All right. Okay. So if you will, go ahead and combine the score of the drive that you chose with your skill for discipline, and go ahead and take your 2d6. And if anybody wants to, this is your first opportunity when you could spend momentum. There are a few ways you can modify rolls in Dune. One of them is to spend momentum. Another one is to generate threat. You can give me threat and get an extra dice to roll if you want, if you give me a point of threat. Or you can spend a point of momentum. And you definitely want to give me threat, because that's usually one of your best choices as a group of players. Anybody want to spend anything, or just roll 2d6? 2d20?
I'm good. I'm good.
I will roll.
Okay, so it's a difficulty 2.
All right, and it's my power plus what did we say my skill was? Is there a skill associated with it?
It's your discipline plus your power.
Okay, so I got to roll under a 13.
Yeah, 13 or under.
I just got one.
All right.
Just one. Okay,
Just
got one
success.
I got 2 successes.
Got 2?
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, that is good. It's good that somebody got 2 successes. All right. So, Corbin, as you're flying over this general vicinity, you see, in the distance, you see kind of a rock outcropping that's a little bit larger, but hidden in its shadow. And some distance away, right? You'd have to, it's a distance that you'd have to cross. But some distance away, hidden in the shadow of this larger rock outcropping, is a very small rock outcropping. And there's part of it is almost level with the sands. And it looks like there might be maybe a small cave that is there. And based around that cave are several dun-colored tents that are really hard to pick out against the rock. But you have got an eye for this, and you see them.
So I see some tents over there around that rock formation. I think it's probably where we might find our guys. I mean, back in the day, we had a setup similar to that back when I was running Spies. So we might want to take a look out over there. Maybe touch down a little ways out, and then see if we can get close without disturbing them.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there like maybe there's a dune that we can kind of set the ship down and then walk over?
Yeah. So you want to set it like on top of a dune, behind a dune? Just behind it so that it's, not able to be seen just in case we get into trouble. Okay. So you want to set it down and then walk over. Great.
Yeah. I'm thinking that. What do you guys think? I don't want to leave anyone out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't want them to see us coming.
Yeah. That's usually smugglers shoot first, ask questions later.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the wisest choice, I believe.
Okay. All right, hold on, boys.
So you're going to need to make a move roll in order to land the ornithopter. And that, all of you know this. You've been on Arrakis long enough to know this, that rhythmic vibration attracts worms. So you need to be cautious in how you land, right? And so let's have you go ahead and make a move roll. One thing I wanted to call out that we didn't call out on your previous rolls is that you also have focuses, right? Do you have any focuses that might help you? So you're gonna with your move. What's your move focus? Do you have one?
See. I do. Stealth.
I feel like that might apply in this case because you're trying to be
I think so.
cautious and careful. I think that's really good. Okay, so what that means is in addition to taking your move plus your drive that you're choosing, and I think it was duty, although you're free to change it if you'd like, then when you make your roll, and you can use momentum for this roll or generate some threat as well if you want to add some extra dice. But when you make your roll, any roll that you make that is less than or equal to your move, right? So that's a 7, will be a critical. So normally you get a critical if you roll a 1. And that just means you get 2 successes instead of 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I am rolling 2 dice.
Yeah, tell us what you get.
2 7s.
2 7s?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I'm
all right.
like screenshotting that right now because that never happens.
He is one with the sand.
You are one with the sand.
Seriously.
All right, you got 4 successes. All right. That's really good. Okay. So you with a very deft hand, you pilot this ornithopter and you set it down so gently, like the sand doesn't even hardly move underneath it as you set it down. No way. There's, you did it perfectly. That's awesome. All right. So you're touching down, and then I mentioned, without the sand, or sorry, with that movement can potentially attract a sandworm. But let's have your characters all make a quick test to see if they remember this fact as they get ready to move over to the smuggler base. So this is going to be a difficulty 3 test, and it's going to be based on your understand skill. Now, remember, if you have a focus that you think would be applicable, then go ahead and call it out. If you don't have a focus on your understand skill, then that's fine too.
So what would the focus enable us to do again?
So it makes your roll better. It makes your crit range a lot higher, basically. So normally a crit is a 1, but if you have a focus that it applies, then it means your crit range is the number of your skill.
So I have danger sense.
Danger sense?
Yeah.
I think that applies.
All right.
That applies. Right. So you'll have your understand skill as your crit range, and then you're going to add your drive to it before you make your roll. Anybody else have anything?
I think I want to switch to my drive to truth for this.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Okay, because to me that's more knowledge based.
Okay. Anybody else have any focuses they think would make sense for their understand?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. So you take your understand, combine it with your drive. That's your target. You can roll 2 dice, and remember, if you want to add any dice with momentum, you can do that. You can also give me some threat. Get more dice. I'll give you lots of dice for threat.
So I rolled a 4. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say I got no successes.
Okay.
I rolled a 4 and a 5, and my skill focus is 4. So does that mean that I get?
You definitely get it. So the difficulty was 3. Yep. So that's 4 total successes that you got. Did anyone else get 3 or more?
1.
Okay. So Doug, you also generate 1 momentum for the group. So you guys now have 3 momentum. That was a really good roll too. Okay. So what you understand, what you remember, you recall, is that there's this thing about sandworms, and if we walk too regularly, if our movements are too patterned, right, then it'll probably call a sandworm. You know that the Fremen have some weirdo thing that they do that they call walk without rhythm or something like that, but you don't really know how that works. But you do know that you should probably say something to your friends and do your best.
Will, there's a question in the chat that asks, is there a maximum on the momentum pool?
There is. Yeah, the maximum is 6.
6. Okay. Very good.
Yeah. So at some point you will want to spend it, most likely.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. So I'm sorry you missed that. I missed what you said.
Yeah, you're good. So you understand
trying to direct and do everything at the same time.
It's a thing. I tried to GM, direct, and answer questions and all that stuff myself all at once, and it was not. I don't envy that. I know you've done it on many occasions. It's a talent I don't really feel like I have. Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
I can't do the live stuff. I've tried. That's hard. Yeah. I commend you, Doug.
No,
indeed. So you know that you guys need to be cautious in how you move.
Right.
You can tell your companions that or not, but if you don't, then odds are pretty good that you guys will call a sandworm.
Yeah. I'll definitely explain it to the crew that, hey, to the 3 others that, hey, listen, we need to make sure that we're very, very careful. Otherwise, you know what we'll attract. We've all been here for a while. We know what's going on here.
Okay.
We don't want that.
No.
Outside
We're
of
not
game,
talking
yes,
about-
I do.
We're not talking about Josh here. We're talking about Marcus.
I got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. So what you can do if you want to try and move without attracting a worm is everyone can make a difficulty 2 move test. And I think, again, that probably the stealth is a good one for a focus. It could potentially work for you. If you have any other focuses on your move that you think are applicable, then remember that's going to expand your crit range from 1 to whatever that number is.
Okay.
And then
I think this is going to be an important roll. Do each one of us want to take 1 momentum token to roll an extra die?
It's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, that would probably work out for the
there's
best of us.
Isn't there only 3?
there's only
There are-
three.
There's only
3.
3, so I mean, I can go without, and then the rest of you can each have 1.
You could also generate some threat. Give me a threat point. I only have 8. Yeah.
Only 8.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll make it even. Everyone can have the momentum token. I'll give you the threat for.
Oh
for
so
boy.
that. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. That's very nice of you.
So
Okay.
so what was the
Well,
threat?
well,
What's
gotta
the target?
Gotta thank you for GMing.
2?
It's 2. Yeah.
2 successes.
All right. And I've got
And
stealth.
Yeah. So select your drive. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do move and my drive
add
is
another D20 here.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh
And I got
Well-
stealth as well.
well.
Yeah. How'd you do?
I got 2 successes, and one of them is it goes in with my focus, so I guess that would be a crit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I also rolled a 20.
You rolled a 20?
Yeah.
Oh no. We haven't talked about rolling 20s yet.
Oh no!
This is not the kind of game where you want to roll a 20.
I kind of had that. I thought maybe that might be
Good
the
to know.
case.
You know what? That's fine, Doug. So there's a couple things that can happen if you roll a 20, right? I can introduce a complication of some sort, or I can just take another point of threat, right? There's a few things we can do. In this case, I think I'll just take a point of threat. I'll just save that for later. Yeah.
Got a nice even 10 now.
Yeah, nice even 10. So you got 3 successes. So
I got 3 successes.
You generate a momentum. So you guys were at 0. You go back up to 1. What did the rest of you get?
I got 2 successes.
I also got
Okay.
2 successes.
2 and 1. Okay.
1.
All righty. Well, sounds good. So you're moving across the sand, and you are coming around this dune that was in between you and this outcropping of rock where there's what looked like maybe a small cave and some tents. And you're moving pretty well. The smugglers you don't see any smugglers as you come around to the area where the tents are. It's middle of the day, the sun is high, right? And you come around and you see the tents and you don't see any people. As you get a little bit closer, what you do notice is that inside of this cave, it looks like there are several containers, like large containers. They might be holding something in them, potentially. And then you see all the tents. And as you get even a little bit closer, you do see actually hiding behind those containers are a couple of smugglers. So, what would you like to do?
I would like to draw my sword and just stay at a ready stance to defend if I have to. But I think Talia should She was a smuggler, right?
Well, I don't know. If
I was a smuggler.
No, it was Corbin's the ex-smuggler.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, one of
I
you
was the street orphan.
Oh, that's right.
So can I go up to one of them and be like, hey, I heard that you guys might have some goods that we're looking for.
Use some of that old school smuggler hand sign stuff or something.
Yeah.
Brandon, can you show us some of that old school hand signs?
No.
Like, can you the hey?
It's not safe for you two. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So you can approach them and they kind of look at each other and they look at you and say, "Hey, what are you doing here? This is our operation."
I heard from one of my contacts that you were the new guys in the game, and I wanted to check it out for myself.
I don't know about that. We're gonna have to get the boss.
All right, bring him out.
And they go down to one of the tents. And one of them does. The other one stands there watching you, his arms folded across his chest, just kind of staring at you, and, giving you the eye. The other one goes down to one of the tents and opens the flap and peeks inside and says something. And then he goes back out and he starts going around and he just kind of taps on the wall of each of the tents. And several smugglers emerge from tents around. There are a total now of 8 of them. And one of them has a big, dark, almost black goatee and bright blue within blue eyes kind of sunken into his face a little bit. And he comes around to you and says, "This is our spice operation. What is it that the 4 of you are doing here?"
We came for spice, like I said.
You came for spice? This is our spice. Can't have our spice.
Well, I mean, we can offer you a trade for some of that spice.
Trade?
Trade.
What kind of trade?
Well, what do you need? We can give you money, information.
We have a servant. I look over at Hassan.
You're offering us a servant out here?
No, that isn't what he meant. He must have misspoke.
I mean, we're going to sell the spice for money, so if you give us a fair market value for it, then we would take it.
All right. Well, you got to show us the product, make sure, so we can verify that it's good stuff and not that you're trying to scam us.
Well, you think we're just going to give you barrels of sand?
I mean, it's been done in the past.
Fine, fair enough. And he starts to walk over. He starts to walk over toward the cave. And these guys are all dressed in still suits as well. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to survive out here. But as he starts to walk toward the cave, you hear, and everyone's going to see pretty quickly, an ornithopter come in. And it comes in from, looks like it's coming from, sort of the shield wall direction, similar to where you had come from. And as it gets closer, you can see that it is definitely a Harkonnen ornithopter. So the Harkonnens are the sworn enemies of the Atreides, right? And so the Harkonnen ornithopter comes in and it is going to land like right on top of the tents in the middle of this sort of smuggler camp. And it just like thumps down, and Harkonnen soldiers, and it's a big one too, Harkonnen soldiers just start pumping out of it. And there are a bunch of them. And they're all dressed in, they've got Harkonnen issue still suits with, kind of leather armor looking stuff. And they, and they've all got Mallow rifles, and they look like they mean business. And
at the sight of this, I just kind of like drop my sword, and this expression of like defeat comes over me.
Kind of pull my hood a little further over my face so they can't really see me, like who I am.
Yeah. And so as this is happening, the smugglers are kind of like, what's going on here? Right? And you guys have some options in terms of what you could potentially do. But the Harkonnens are the sworn enemies of your house.
We are vastly outnumbered.
Filthy dog.
We should have known that they were behind us.
There's probably you're not maybe you don't know if you're counting the pilot or not or whatever, but there's maybe 10 or 12 of them.
So I hearken over to the smugglers, and I'm like, you guys are dealing with the Harkonnens?
No, we're not dealing with them. They're probably just here to try and steal our spice.
We can't let that happen now, can we? You got any defenses here? Got any weapons or anything to drive them out, maybe? Yeah, we're just here to buy. We don't want to go down with you guys. That'd look bad on us.
We've got some. We've got some weapons. And the Harkonnen, like, there's a commander that kind of walks out into the front of them, and he looks around at all of you, and he's got this shock of really bright red hair. And he says, I thought we were coming here for smugglers, but I see there are filthy Atreides dogs among you.
You're the filthy dogs. It just slips.
Not again.
Yeah.
I think everyone here just needs to calm down. I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason why you're here. So what is it?
We're here to confiscate this spice, of course. So really quickly, just to kind of give a little bit of an outline of Dune. So like the books, the movies, there's tons of political intrigue, but there's also violence, right?
Yep.
And the way this game is set up, there's several different types of conflict that are possible, right? But it's all built in a way that it kind of flows and it'll work with whatever situation you want, however you want to handle a conflict type situation. This is definitely a conflict type situation, right? So you could try and talk your way out of it, and that's a conflict of sorts, right? You could also try and fight your way out, and that's another type of conflict. But essentially, this is going to be a conflict, and so you have to figure out what approach you want to take to it will be.
So, can we tell if the Harkonnen are they here too? Does it look like they're working with the smugglers at all, or is it actually what the smugglers said, where they're here just to?
The Harkonnens have their weapons drawn. They don't look like they're here to be friends.
So I think I'm I think I'm going to step up to the smugglers and say, and you said there's like 8 smugglers?
Yep.
And there's 4 of us?
Hmm.
So it would be a pretty even match.
Yep.
So I'm going to step up and next to Corbin and say, just going to try to convince them that, hey, listen, Harkonnen's probably going to... I know you don't like our house, but guess what? Harkonnen's going to be seizing this spice from you anyway. Why don't we work together and maybe we can get a share of the spice. We'll help you with the Harkonnen, and you get to keep the majority of what you've already claimed. I think that's how it. I think that's our only option at this point. Otherwise, we're both going to leave empty-handed.
That's pretty smart.
How do we know we can trust you?
Well, can you trust them?
Go ahead and so this could be an opportunity for some assistance, because I feel like you're all kind of working on this, trying to convince them together, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, Talia, you kind of led off the charge here, so I think I'd like for you to make a communicate test.
My focus is intimidation.
Okay.
Would that apply in this situation?
It absolutely would apply. Yeah, it would apply.
All right, nice.
So you're going to have that, and then you'll have your drive. And then if someone would like to, if you're talking and aiding, right, then you can assist, right? And the way that works, just make sure that I'm getting it right, because we haven't done this yet. The way that works is that everyone who is assisting can roll 1 d20 based on communicate as well, with a drive of your choice. And if you get a success, then we add that to the total.
I'll assist.
This is the only time in the game when you'd roll 1 d20.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Corbin, what about you? Are you going to?
Yeah.
Are you assisting?
I will give that an assist.
All right. Here we go. And what's the difficulty rating on this?
Yeah, I didn't say, did I?
No.
Yeah, I didn't, huh?
Oh.
I kind of like to know before we roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you would.
Oh, yeah.
So for us to assist, we just tell we just say if we got the success, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and the success is based off of our numbers.
Correct.
Okay.
I got 2 successes, one of which was a 1.
Oh, wow. All right. So that's 3.
I got 1.
Got 1?
Yep.
I got none.
Okay. Did you get any, Josh, or were you helping?
I did not roll. So
I think
Okay.
after that comment that he made,
Nobody got any 20s, though, right? Nobody got any 20s?
Oh.
Okay.
It's close.
Josh,
Oh, wait a minute.
Just checking.
Wait a minute. I just realized that's not a 6. That's not a 9. That's a 6. So that also hits my that also hits my intimidation drive.
Okay. All right. Well, so this wasn't a very difficult test. It was actually a 1, right? So you got 4 plus 1 extra, right? So that's going to generate 4 momentum for you. So you guys are up to 5 again now. Yeah.
yes.
And the smuggler looks at you, and he puts his hands together and he says, well, I feel more at ease trusting the Atreides than I do the Harkonnens. So if you say you're against them and with us, then let's do this. And he looks to his men, and some of them draw knives and some of them draw pistols, and they're ready to attack. So this is our first conflict. So I'm going to do a quick overview of how conflict works. It's a little bit different. Basically, you're going to choose an asset to use in your attack. So everybody has assets on your character sheets. And some of you also have talents, and talents can come into play whenever they make sense, right? That's just up to you. So if you see a case for your talent, then your talent works, right? But your asset, so you're probably going to have some kind of a weapon, which you could use, or if you have some other way that you want to use an asset, like, certain types of assets give you the ability to, for example, blackmail someone, or do other potential things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do if you didn't have that asset. But weapons are good for physical conflict. And so hopefully you have a weapon. If you don't, then, you don't necessarily have to have that. But that's going to give you an extra... Sorry, hold on. It's going to give you an extra... Oh, shoot. Who else read the rules? I think it gives you an extra success. Darn it. All right. So this is what we're going to say for now. And so based on the type of attack you're making, you're going to choose an appropriate skill and a drive, right? And a focus if it applies, right? So generally the skill is going to be battle if you're doing a physical conflict. And then you're going to roll the conflict against your target, which is your... Oh, no, I remember what it is. The asset gives you an extra bump, one number up on your target.
Okay.
Right. And so you're going to roll, and I'm going to tell you what the foe does, basically, right? And if you win the contest, then your attack is successful. If you lose, obviously it fails. And on a successful attack, the outcome depends on the target. So depending on the kind of foe, right? If they're like a major character and a big NPC or a big bad evil guy or something like that, then they're going to have more ability to do stuff against you. But if they're just like a minor foe, then usually if you win a series, we're not representing like one stroke of a blade or one shot from a pistol. This is a section of conflict between you and someone else. And so if they're minor, then one successful contest will be enough to remove them from the contest.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Let me really quickly pull up these guys. Okay. Boy, they really don't like your house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any kind of an initiative order with this?
There's not, actually. So the way that we decide who goes first, a player always goes first, and then we alternate. So you guys just get to choose who you want to have go first. So who would like to go first?
I have no weapon and not a lot of skill, so I will probably not go first.
Oh, I was going to volunteer Hassan.
I didn't know if you had like a serving plate that you could just kind of hold up and kind of, shield yourself.
The smugglers did have some weapons, so you might be able to get one from them to use.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, I guess I'll go first. I guess I'll use my turn to turn to one of the smugglers and say, if you want me to help, you're going to have to help me, and kind of hold up my bare hands and say, I need a weapon.
Okay. one of the smugglers looks at you kind of funny, and he reaches down to his waist and he pulls out a knife and hands it to you.
Better than nothing.
What are you doing in the desert without a blade?
I'm very forgetful.
He's about to enter a gunfight with a knife. So,
Well, so am I. Mine's just bigger. That's all.
All right, and that'll be your turn. Well, you know what? I'll let you do an attack if you want. We'll say that happened pretty quick.
Okay.
Do you want to enter conflict with
Yeah.
somebody?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for it because I really dislike Harkonnens. Now, is there a matter of crossing the space to get to a target, or?
There's going to be one close. You'll be able to get to one really quickly if you need to.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to turn and just make a slash at
Just
the
going
one.
to charge at one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Do you have let's see. Do you have any focuses on your battle? I don't know that you do.
No, I don't.
Okay. What is your drive for this?
I'm going to go with faith. The statement for that is, I believe I have chosen the right place to serve. And I think that kind of is applicable here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And you've got your knife. So that's going to be 14. Yep. Your target's 14.
14.
Do you want to use any momentum? Oh.
No, I can re-roll those. I wasn't going to.
It's fine.
I mean, they were good. They were good rolls. So, I mean, I'll keep them.
That's good. Keep them.
Yeah, I got 2. Can you explain how the critical ranges works again?
Yeah, for sure. So if you roll a 1, that's a critical. That means you get 2 successes instead of 1 if you roll a 1.
Right.
If you have a focus that applies to your roll, then the critical range is from 1 to the number of your skill.
Okay.
That has the focus.
Okay. Well, in that case, I got 2 successes.
No 2 successes. All right. Give me just a second here. This guy. All right. Well, so you go screaming into one of the Harkonnens with your blade. Do you want to tell us what you do to him? Because you do something bad to him.
Yeah, I think I'm not very trained in any kind of combat, so I think I'm going to try to. I'll basically like barrel right into him and just stab right down into his neck.
Yeah, you do, and he was so taken off guard by the ferocity of your attack, he just crumples and falls. All right. So we're going to go to one of them. So the captain of the Harkonnen soldiers sees, you charge at him, at one of his soldiers with this knife and just take him down. This, servant guy, not, doesn't really look like much of a fighter necessarily. And he's like, and starts opening fire. And so let's real quickly. I'm going to spend a point of threat. Actually, I'm going to spend 2 points of threat. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, I have to spend 3. So the first point of momentum or threat that you spend gives you 1 dice. The second, you have to spend 2 to get another one after that. So I'm going to roll 4 dice.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I forgot to figure out who he's going to shoot. Should do that. All right. That's going to be Josh. Okay. Wow.
That is not allowed, mister.
Yeah. He did get a critical, but that is the only success that he got. So he got 2 successes. In just 1 second, let me remind myself
Josh, you probably that's probably payback for saying what you said earlier. It's karma.
Yeah.
Karma, buddy.
It's
I kind of say, it's really hard to keep Josh out of the game and only play the character. 'Cause Josh wants to go barreling in with the sword, but staying back.
Oh, that's right. You're a swordsman, aren't you? So
Yeah.
you should be able to slice and dice these guys.
That's why I said mine's bigger.
Yeah.
Than Hassan's.
He shoots you and he grazes you, and it's pain sears through your side, right? As this bullet hits you, and your life flashes before your eyes for a second, as it always does when you're injured, and yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to decide what you're going to do next. So it's going to go to the players. So who would like to go next?
Can I, since I just got shot?
Absolutely.
Because now's the time to act. So that guy right there, after the pain I pushed the pain aside, and I just grip up on that sword, and in pure anger, I'm going for it.
Okay.
Let's see here. Would anyone object to me moving using a momentum token?
No, we have five. We've got 5 of them, so go for it.
Do it.
Okay. Grab an extra D20. And I've got focus for my battle is dueling. And this is duty. I mean, it's almost like revenge or justice for... Ooh. No, this is justice for shooting me. Payback, right? Okay. There we go.
You're going after the commander or whatever who's out in front?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So with my focus, that would make that a crit. So that's 2. And 13, that's 3. But I did roll a 20 on one of them.
Oh. Okay. Great. I'm going to introduce a complication. So you rush on this guy, your sword flashing in the sun, and you come down on him with it, and I'm going to say you get him, collarbone and down, right? And
yep.
Your sword, you're like, and it is stuck in him. But he is and he's in immense pain and seems to be mostly disabled. But he's collapsing, and the blade is stuck for the moment.
Okay.
So you have an opportunity when you get a turn again to potentially get it back. But for now, it's you won't be able to use it. Okay.
The adrenaline is flowing just like the spice. There we go.
That's right. Okay, so it's their turn. Another one of them is going to go, and he's not going to use any threat. He's going to fire at Talia. Okay. He actually misses Talia.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he aims up and kind of just misses. It's not a very good shot. You don't know what it is. Okay. It's like they're stormtroopers or something. Anyway. All right. Let's go back to the players. So who'd like to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
I'm going to take out my little pistol, and I'm going to just shoot one of the guys in the back in the leg.
Okay.
All right. So let's see if I can do it. I got one success.
Okay. All right. So that's not quite enough to take this guy down. You definitely give him a good grazing with your bullet, but he's like, whoa, I'm gonna miss that. I got a new part in my hair, man. Yeah, he's looks like he's still ready to go for now. All right. And in fact, he'll take his turn to try and fire back at you. Oh, okay. And he does. He fires back at you, and he's going to hit you in your off. What's your dominant shoulder, right or left?
Right. Let's say right.
Right? Okay. So he fires off, and a shot hits you in the left shoulder. Yeah. So you feel that. Pain screams through you as this bullet just kind of tears its way through your still suit. A little splurt of blood and water comes out of that pouch.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's my second favorite shoulder.
All right. And I believe it's player's turn.
So I
Who's
think that
next?
leaves just me. So I think what I'm going to do is the enemy that fired at me and missed. I have a focus called dirty fighting. So either I'm fighting while I'm not very clean, or I'm going to fight dirty. I think that's kind of how it's supposed to be. So I think what I'm going to do is
You forgot
I'm
soap
going to
for this fight.
Yeah, I'm going to get out some soap and kind of just clean up. So maybe no, I'm just kidding. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kick the sand into the face of the enemy that was in front of me that tried to shoot me to try to blind him, and then I have an idea of how I want to finish him off if I succeed at blinding him.
Okay.
Kind of have it all mapped out in my head, but I just need to make sure that I can blind him first.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
All right. So I've got dirty fighting, and the power comes at my knife's edge, so I'm probably... Ooh! Okay, so I rolled a success, plus I rolled a 1. So
Okay. So
I
you
think
get
that
3.
makes 3 successes.
Yeah. So you're able to do your move with the, kicking stuff up into his face, and then you can do your attack as well.
Okay.
It's just all included.
So I've got it all mapped out in my head while this round was playing out. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to kick sand up into his face, then spin around, sweep his leg, and then stab him in the sternum with my knife once he falls to the ground.
Yeah, you do. Definitely the most graceful maneuver of anyone here so far today.
Nice.
As you take down this Harkonnen. Yeah, and he's not getting up again. Never, right? So, yeah. So really quickly, I'm just going to, I'm not going to roll for them, but the smugglers and the remaining Harkonnens go back and forth, taking turns. I am going to roll really quickly. I'm going to give a chance that a few of them might still try and attack some of you. Just a second here. Okay. Well, it looks like one of them will. And the other ones are busy being engaged by the smugglers. And this one is going to... This one was fairly close to you, Hassan, and the soldier that you took down. And so he's actually going to turn around and basically try and, hit you with the with the butt of his rifle that he has. And so let's give him a chance to do that really quickly. Oh, okay. Well, he got one success, but it was a crit because they have a focus on their rifles. So that gives them a pretty good chance to get some crits. And so he hits you with the butt of the rifle, and he like hits you in the head, and you, for a second, you don't hear anything but the ringing, right? You just hear this intense ringing sound as it takes a second for the world to come back into focus. But when it does, you see that you're on your hands and knees in front of this Harkonnen who's kind of dropped you to the ground. And around you, the conflict rages on as several of the smugglers, a couple of them fall, and one more Harkonnen soldier falls as well. And then we're back to the top of the order. So it's player's turn. Who would like to go first?
I can go first again.
Sure.
Okay. What would you like to do?
I guess I'm gonna. So I'm on my hands and knees. I guess I'm gonna plant my foot and kind of just dive at the legs of the soldier.
Trying to grapple him down?
Yeah, try to grapple him down. Maybe like a little light strangling.
Light string. Yeah, sounds good.
So 2 successes again.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry, hang on one second.
I just want to say we're kicking butt, guys.
Is there?
Think we're doing all right.
All right.
It's only
So
a
2
flesh wound.
successes.
2.
Yeah. So you get this guy around the legs, and you just, you put your weight into it, behind your foot as you get a pretty good purchase here. You're still on the rock outcropping. You're not on the sand, so you can get some pretty good leverage. You find like a little crevice and get your toe into it, and you just take this guy down, right? And you're, and you get to his neck, and you're just, choking him, kind of banging his head against the rock. Nice. He's struggling. All right, let's go to them. Their turn. Let's see. Their commander is down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. There's still quite a few of them. The pilot looks over and sees you, Talia, and the super graceful maneuver that you did with, taking down this guy, and is like, I can't let that person get anywhere near me. And so they're going to take a shot at you.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Lean out of they're still in the ornithopter, but they lean out around the ornithopter opening, and they're going to take a shot at you from kind of a covered area there. And because they have that concealment, I'm actually going to use a point of threat for them. Unfortunately, the pilot doesn't appear to have very much skill with firearms, and mistakenly shoots a rock that they thought was you. So, yeah, you're free and clear.
Wow.
Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll put my foot on this guy's chest and kick him back while pulling on my sword at the same time.
Okay.
And then that probably takes up my turn to do that.
Yeah, I think so. but you can roll a you can make a conflict roll anyway, right? As part of that.
Okay, sure.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Because you see him, he's like crumpling to the ground, but he's actually pulling a dagger from his boot right now. So.
Yep.
You need to disarm him.
All right. One crit, which means I get 2 successes. The other one's 15, so doesn't land.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to retain your sword by going through instead of out, back out. If that makes sense. It's like a fish. It's like a fish hook. You just go the other direction, no problem. And he actually loses an arm, as mentioned. Right? He's disarmed.
Sweet.
And he's in so much pain and agony now that he can't really think about his dagger that he was trying to pull from his boot anymore.
Yeah.
You need an arm for that.
That's what you get for shooting me.
Yeah. All right. Next one of them is going to take a turn. Oh. Man, they really like to pick on Hassan. So another one is going to come after you.
That's very threatening.
Apparently. Holy crap. Okay. And they roll better when they attack you too, for some reason. Let me check. I gotta look at your character sheet really quick. Give me a second.
I think it's your intimidative, your manner that you exude, Hassan, that just people are like, we need to attack that guy.
Seriously.
Right.
He just has that face.
Yeah.
Okay. So another one of them manages to get a shot off on you, and this time it actually is in your right shoulder. So it's going to make it really hard to use that little stabby knife that you got from the folks. You can switch hands, but anyway, options. Okay. All right. Who's next?
I believe I am.
Okay. Before you take your turn, really quickly, I would like everyone, and if you're all in the middle of a fight right now, so I need you to make a battle test.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Battle test.
You can use the drive that you want for it. Okay. And I'm not gonna tell you any particular focus. I don't think any focus will necessarily do anything. Okay. But this is a difficulty 1 test.
So 6.
Okay, I got 2 successes.
Okay.
Two successes.
I got 2.
3.
I got 2.
Also 2.
All right. So you're generating up some momentum. You guys are actually capped out at 6 now.
Sweet.
And you all notice that, the sand around you and also some of the loose sand on this rock outcropping that you're on is kind of vibrating a little bit.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes, everyone should have a bad feeling about this. Yeah. So you know what's coming, and you see that a couple of the smugglers are looking around, and they know what's coming too. Um, yeah. So what do you want to do?
Probably get to our ornithopter. Or the Harkonnen ornithopter, if we can.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was thinking. What does the path to their ornithopter look like? Like, is it heavily guarded, or are they kind of spread out and busy?
No, there's quite a few of them in front of it still. And you notice as they start to look around and see the Wormsign as well, some of them start getting back in, and they're waving to their comrades, "Hey, come on!" And some of the smugglers are like moving to their tiny little cave where they had some just room barely for maybe them and their spice that they're storing in there, kind of starting to head into that area. So yeah, one thing you could potentially look at is returning to your ornithopter. You could try and fight your way into the Harkonnen ornithopter, but you don't know if you've got that kind of time on your hands.
Yeah.
Same thing might be true for the cave, right? Because you might have to fight for a position in there. I don't know. Let's now that you are pretty sure you know what's coming, I'd actually like everyone to make a discipline roll with a 2 difficulty.
I'm gonna just take 2 momentum die because I'm not very well disciplined. So
Okay, so 2 momentum.
Okay, so you're going.
If that's
going
okay,
down
I
to
might do the same thing.
Okay.
So
you taking 2?
so remember it costs 1 for 1. It costs 2 for the second one, and it costs 3 for the third one.
I'll do
Yeah.
one.
So I might.
So if you want a second one, it's going to cost you. Okay. So 1 and 1.
So that leaves us with 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
If 3 of you take 1, yes.
Okay, so I got some discipline.
I only rolled 1 success.
Same.
1 success.
I need to zoom in here.
I got no successes. Look at that.
Oh man.
My focus on my discipline says precision. Does that qualify or no?
Probably not.
Okay.
Did you get 1 as well then, or did you get 2?
I'm rolling now. I
Okay.
didn't know if that added. So I got 2 successes.
Okay. So Marcus, as you look off toward where your ornithopter is hidden behind the dune, out just a little ways beyond it, you see just in the distance, a minor cresting of the sand. And you know that running toward your ornithopter probably isn't a good idea.
Uh-oh.
So there's one other potential option. You could try and do any of those things, right? You could try and make it to your ornithopter before the worm gets there. You could try and hide in the cave. You could try and fight the Harkonnens out of their ornithopter. There's also the larger outcropping of rock that's just across the sand from you.
Yeah, I had that in the back of my
worm might
mind.
follow you.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Can we shoot the Harkonnen copter and like where the engine would be, and then bolt for the outcropping? So then that way they can't, like, maybe they have a hard time taking off. will like run and like shoot their vehicle as we
do. Sure. Do any of you have rockets?
No.
I do not.
I mean,
So
you
we
could
don't
try,
have-
but it's kind of shielded, right? It's a military
Yeah, that's
ornithopter.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Never mind.
What if we get to the rocks? Go ahead.
I was going to say you could try taking a shot at the pilot, maybe.
He was outside the ship. Well,
He was outshot. He was outside. He was hanging out the window. Would the pilot still be protected?
So as you're discussing this, their ornithopter takes off into the sky, leaving behind several of the Harkonnens who weren't able to even get into it yet.
Okay.
Okay, never mind then.
okay. If that's the case, I think our best plan of action is to head towards the rocks. But also to disable any of the Harkonnen we can at this moment and leave them there.
They look around. A couple of them try and get over into the cave, and they're getting into a fight with the smugglers over there. The other two are already hightailing it across the sand to the rocks.
Yeah, I think we should move to.
I think we should go towards the rocks.
Definitely head towards the rocks.
Yeah. Are they
Okay.
going to be in a position where they can fire on us as we're approaching the rocks?
Possibly.
They're running as fast as they can.
Yeah.
I know
I
in
guess it
other
just
game
depends on
systems you don't ever want to split the party.
How long you
but
wait before you try and get there.
how about you three head for the rocks? I'll sneak off to go get the ornithopter, because one person versus 4 people tromping through the desert might be able to avoid triggering the worm.
Yeah, but isn't the worm coming that way towards the
Yeah,
copter?
it's coming from that direction.
Yeah, it's gonna take it out while it's like traveling our way.
Reaching.
Yeah, it's gonna breach and just take it out. I think we all just I'm headed towards the rocks. I just bolt. I don't even wait to let these guys, make up my mind for me, because I've already made it.
Yeah. Survival. You got to survive. So
That's right.
head to the rocks.
I agree.
All right, I'm going with the group majority.
Going with the group, Marcus. Not going to split the
Is it?
party. Okay.
Is it possible there's a thumper in the bandit or the smuggler encampment?
You didn't see one.
Okay. To the rocks.
Okay. So this is not a difficult test, but it's an extended test. So it's going to take you a couple of turns to accomplish running across the sand to the rocks. So so you're going to make a move test, right? So you use your move skill, and if you have any focus that applies, right, remember to apply that, and then pick your drive.
Okay.
And it's a difficulty 1 move test, but it's an extended test, and it has a requirement of 6. So that means that each turn you are going to be adding up your successes that you get, and you need to get to 6 in order to get to the rocks.
Okay.
So starting right now, let's have one of you go first. So who would like to go?
I'll go first.
You want to go, Doug? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you would, go ahead and roll your test, your move, and your...
I only got 1 success.
1 success? Okay, that's fine. So you get 1 success, and every time you meet the requirement for the test, then you get 2 points toward the extended test. And if you got a crit, then you could potentially get more, right? So your total that you're looking to get is 6. So if you keep going at this rate, you'll get there in 2 more rolls, basically. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So everybody else want to go ahead and roll your move test.
Bam.
Same as the other rolls, move plus a drive.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I got a crit on 1, so that's 2 successes.
1.
I got no successes.
No successes. Okay. So right out of the gate, Corbin is having struggles, right? The that wound that you received is, it's really flared up and it's giving you a lot of pain and you're having a hard time running, even though it's in your shoulder and not your leg somehow. The rest of you are kind of heading off across the sand. In your case, Marcus, you're actually able to get a little farther, this seems pretty easy to you. So you actually get to use 3. So you get 3 against your total 6 for your extended test.
Sweet.
The other 2 of you get 2. For this turn, Corbin, you don't get any toward your total that you're trying to get. All right. So let's do another round of tests. And the sand around you is, vibrating very heavily now, right? And you hear the sound of the worm and its scaly skin passing through the sand as it gets nearer and nearer.
All right.
So everybody go ahead and make your next move test.
Okay, can I buy an additional D20 by generating a threat?
Oh, you absolutely can. Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
It's going to take me up to
Or
6.
do you want to use the momentum tokens? Because
Can
we
I
have
use
3
both?
in our pool.
We do still have 3. So it works the same way for momentum and for threat, right? So if you wanted to get 2 dice, you could you could spend 1 momentum and you could give me 2 threat, and that would give you 2 dice.
I think I'll stick with just the 1 dice from threat for right now.
From threat, okay. So
I
give
have
me
a
1
talent
from
that
threat.
lets me re-roll a dice if I get an extra 1 from threat.
Ah, gotcha.
Yep. Good.
Equal to target doesn't count as a success, correct?
It does. It counts.
Oh, it does. Has to be okay. Okay.
Equal or lower.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll 1 of these.
Okay. Everybody
2
get at least
successes
1.
for me.
2 for you.
Okay.
1 for
I
you.
got 1.
2 for you.
Okay, I got 4 successes.
Whoa.
4 successes. Were any
Yeah,
of
I
them
got a
crits?
crit on one of them.
You got a crit? Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. So you guys are going to generate a bunch of momentum. You're back up to 6 again. So each of the rest of you get 2 towards your 6, right? So if you're adding, then Marcus, you'll have 5 right now, right? And the other 2 of you have 4. And Corbin, you're going to have 3 because you got a crit this time. And you just take off across. You're like, pain is nothing. This worm is going to eat me. I don't want that. All right. So get another round. So let's go for it again.
Okay, I'm gonna use a momentum die. That's okay with you guys, since we're full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Back down to 5.
I should probably use a momentum as well.
I'm feeling lucky.
Okay. 1 for Doug too.
I got 2
1.
crits, so that would be 4.
Wow.
0. Okay. 1
1.
for Hassan. Yeah.
I got
How about
2
Corbin?
successes.
How'd you do?
2
2
successes.
successes. Okay. All right. So here's what's going to happen. So, Marcus, you are a man on fire, but you see that your companion, Talia, is struggling. And so I'm going to say that you're able, because you're just, kicking so much butt out here, that you can just grab Talia and drag them along with you until you both reach the box. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And Corbin, you didn't get a crit this time, is that right?
I did not.
So you're at 5. So you're almost there. So you're gonna have one more turn to try and get there before the worm can get to you. And Hassan, you make it. So you're there safe with the rocks. I think that's good. All right. So we need to do one more roll for Corbin.
Okay.
Hopefully one more.
Yeah, I'm just not going to risk it. I'm just going to spend the momentum, if it's okay with you guys, to get the extra die.
Yeah.
Okay, I got 2 successes, but I also got a 20.
Ooh. Okay. So you're gonna make it. You make it to the rocks, and you get climbed up there, and you are exhausted though. And so you you're just, this run has taken everything out of you. You put on the afterburners earlier, right? And you got so far so fast, and then you're like, whoa, I shouldn't have done that. And it's coming back to the wound in the shoulder also. Yeah. And I'm gonna say, as you reach the rocks, and you're there, your hands in front of you, just panting, you realize that somewhere along the way, you must have dropped the knife that you had been lent by the smugglers. Or wait, no, that wasn't you.
No, that was Tom.
I was about to have
your own
cool
gun. That would have been way cool. Yeah. No, you actually dropped your gun. I apologize. Yeah. The 3 of you that were already there, safe on the rocks, you're looking around, kind of looking for signs of, the Harkonnens that came across before you. And you actually see one of them just slump. And then you see another one where you thought you saw them come across, and they're not there. They just vanish. And as you look around, you actually see that there are no Harkonnens anywhere that aren't either slouched and crumpled or gone.
Where did they go? Can we have a look around the rocks? Maybe there's like a little passage or a cave. Okay.
In a second. So as you're noticing this, your attention is dragged away from that as a massive sandworm with its armored scales erupts from the sand in front of the rock outcropping that's where you just were, and up into the air toward the Harkonnen ornithopter, and narrowly misses it before crashing back down onto the rock outcropping, actually obliterating it, and including the cave and everything. And just, it's huge, it's immense, and the concussion of when it hits this rock outcropping, just, it hits you even here across the sands in the rocks where you are now. Yeah. So those smugglers aren't going to be a problem anymore, apparently.
Hey, look at that. The problem fixed itself.
Yeah. And in the distance, as the worm, turns and it's starting to head toward the rock outcropping or the larger formation of rocks where you are, you hear the distinctive sound of a thumper. And the worm slowly turns and heads toward the thumper.
Is that in our direction?
It's away from you, yeah. Out toward the deeper desert.
Hmm.
Would we have known anything of any Fremen activity in this area?
Fremen are mysterious folk that you don't know much about, other than sometimes they show up. You don't know how many of them there are. You don't know why they choose to live in the desert.
Well, something just saved us.
That it did.
But on the bright side, we now have a bunch of free spice. We might
we can't,
wash
we
it
can't
off a
take
little
it,
bit.
but we can't take it anywhere, Corbin. Can I inspect the bodies of the Harkonnen that are hunched over?
Yeah. You go up to. Can I go up and inspect one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one fairly close to you. You go toward it, and you can see that his throat was cut. And from the rocks just behind where he's slouched, actually rises a person with dark hair and blue within blue eyes. And as they rise, so rise several others at varying points around the rocks surrounding you. One of them rubs their hands together and she speaks to you. My name is Kadaif. What are you doing here in the desert alone by yourselves and with Harkonnens?
We're not with the Harkonnens.
We may be here with the Harkonnens, but we're not with the Harkonnens.
Well said. Just coincidence.
We were here
we
Go ahead.
We want nothing to do with Harkonnens.
I'm going to let everyone roll a test really quickly to see what you know about these Fremen. So you can roll communicate or you can roll understand. It's up to you. It is a difficulty 2, though.
Okay.
We're all understand.
Understand and truth.
I'm going to use my cautious talent to buy an extra D20 and then re-roll one if I need to.
And I'm going to truth as well. So, can I use my my gossip focus under communicate? Because maybe I heard some chatter about
okay. Them. Yeah, we'll say that maybe. Yeah, I think that's fair. Absolutely.
I only got one success.
Oh.
Okay.
I got 4 successes.
Ooh, Hassan coming through.
One success.
I got 1 success and a crit, so 3 together.
For 3. Yeah, this is definitely Hassan's wheelhouse. Okay, so the two of you are going to generate some more momentum. You guys are back up to 6 total momentum. And Hassan and Corbin, you've both had enough exposure to Fremen culture through either, probably Hassan for you, it's probably, just gossip that you've heard. And there are actually some Fremen who are serving as servants at the Atreides home in Arakeen. That maybe you've overheard some of them or had an opportunity. And Corbin, you've been out here, as a smuggler, and you've seen what they're capable of. And both of you know that Fremen may be wild people that live out on the edge of the world by themselves or very solitary, but they are highly skilled. And they will kill people that they don't feel are, that belong right where they are. And so this is a situation to be highly cautious. Suggesting a duel or, anything along those lines would probably be a death sentence.
Yeah, I'm probably going to tuck my knife into my belt, or if there's some kind of pocket on my still suit, and just kind of put my hands up.
Oh yeah, I would sheathe my sword before even running, because you don't run with a sharp object.
Tell me your names.
I'm
I'm
Marcus.
Hassan.
I'm Corbin of the House Atreides.
I'm Talia, also of House Atreides.
You are with the new ruler. Yes?
Correct.
So I'll ask you again, what are you doing here?
We came following tales of some spice smuggling operations going on. So we came out here, we found the smugglers. Unfortunately, the Hokonans seem to have found them at the same time as we did. And some not great things happened because of that. And it left us stranded here at these rocks.
You called a great maker to this area.
That was not our intention.
Shai Halud.
That was certainly not our intention.
The worm?
Our intention.
Yes, a worm, as you call them.
You named the worm?
Well, you have a name.
Yes, but I didn't think we named the worms. They're just worms.
Well, maybe they do.
I'm gonna look towards Marcus and kind of lowly put my hand down a little bit and say, "You surely know of Shai Hulud," and kind of wink to him to maybe back off from his current line of reasoning.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
We care nothing of smugglers. The Harkonnen pigs that came all deserve death, of course. But we have not formed an opinion yet of the Atreides.
Well, a valid opinion takes time.
Yes. Those are wise words. So what will you do now?
Well, our ship is destroyed, so we want to get back behind the wall if we can. safely at least. If you'd like,
think
there are some remnants of spices that were at the former camp there that we can let you have if you can help us get back safely.
We have plenty of spice.
Well, do any of us have any water? No, doesn't say anything about water on our sheets.
No.
I have a merchant contact that could maybe help you procure any kind of goods that you might need in the future.
We shall take these Harkonnen for their water.
And
you can have
That's
them.
right. The Dune universe, they suck the water out of the people, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Please take their water as our offering to you. And do you think that you could help us get back over the wall?
So who's taking the lead on? I feel like it's mainly Corbin, right? That's kind of given the story of what's happening here. So Corbin, I think we're going to have you make a communicate test. And the rest of you can assist if that's what you're attempting to do.
I'll try.
Right? But keep in mind that if anyone rolls a complication when you're assisting, it affects all of you.
Oh.
Okay. Can I use my focus of bartering for this? Since I am bartering for our lives.
Yeah, I think so. That's a little stretching it a little bit, but we'll allow it.
I got a success.
You only get to roll one dice.
Oh,
Right.
one die? Okay.
One die.
Yeah,
Let me
if you're
re-roll that.
assisting.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use a momentum die? Since we still have 3, I believe.
Sure.
You have 6.
We have
wins.
6. We have
Oh, we have
6.
6 again. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
Cool.
Go for
I'll
it.
definitely just use one.
Okay, I
Alright.
still got one success.
Yeah, I got one success.
Okay. I have 2 successes.
Okay, so we got 2 plus. I heard 1, and any others? 0.
Nope.
So I got 1. I think Marcus got 1. And
Did you get 1, Marcus? 1. Okay, so a total of 4 successes. All right, great. So they look at you. They look around at the 4 of you, and then they come back to looking at you, Corbin, and they say, "You have spent time in the desert. You know that speaking false words here can end a person's life. It is well that you've spoken the truth today. You have gained our trust. We will help you return to your ornithopter, if indeed it is still there."
Let's hope it is. We
Um,
appreciate your trusting in us. And we will try to not make it be in vain.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to ask them or do before they try and take you back to find your ornithopter?
Yeah, the thumper we heard in the distance. I'm assuming that was your work.
One of our kin.
Good timing. Thank you.
How many are you?
Fewer than the sands of the desert, yet greater than your number.
And I just kind of count how many. I'm like, 4. They have more than 4 guys. More than 4.
Until we meet again, then, I thank you for your kindness.
May your water stay protected. And with you.
And also with you.
And the blessing of Shai Halud upon you.
Oh, wow.
All right. So they will walk you back to the area where you left your ornithopter. It is, in fact, there, although it is on its side as it toppled over when the worm passed beneath it. But with some help from the Fremen, and they also help you kind of like they kick your feet every once in a while to kind of keep you from making too rhythmic of movement while you're walking through the sand. But they can help you lift the ornithopter back onto its legs, and you'll be able to fly safely out of there. It looks like.
Sweet.
Nice.
Awesome.
Buckle up. Let's go.
Can as we're taking off, can I look out the window and wave to the Fremen down below?
Sure.
Nice. That's what I'm gonna do.
Look at you for a moment, and then they turn and head back to the rocks. It doesn't look as though any of the smugglers survived. As you fly up, you can see kind of the area, and you don't see any people besides the Fremen that are walking back to their rocks. When you return to Arakeen, there is a representative from the house there, right? It's a man that has some military bars. He's in uniform, and he's got some military bars. He has dark hair, dark bushy eyebrows, and says, you've returned. What did you find of the smugglers?
Well,
They're all dead.
They're gone now.
The situation played out so that the smugglers are no longer a factor.
Did you kill them?
In a matter of speaking, yes.
Quite brutal. None of them wanted to join our ranks then, I suppose.
We didn't give them that option. And I look
They
over at
didn't have a
everybody like
chance.
yeah, I look over at everybody like, go along with this because we can come out as heroes and like badasses in this situation if we. Yes, we did not give them the chance to join our ranks.
Well, perhaps that is a shame. For I believe we may find some allies here on this planet if we search properly for them.
I believe you're right, but I don't think that those smugglers were the allies we're looking for.
Probably quite the opposite.
Yeah, perhaps you're right.
Can never trust a smuggler after all.
And at that point, a young man comes into the hangar where your ornithopter landed, and he's coming from like out on the other end of the hangar, and he says, "Duncan!" And he runs up to the man that you were just speaking with him, and they clasp hands, and they walk off together talking. And that's the end of our scene.
All right.
Nice. See, we ended up heroes. We took care of it, and we totally were badasses and made accomplished what we were supposed to accomplish.
Yeah,
and like one of those old fishing tails, like caught one this big.
You caught one this big. You dealt really well with the Fremen, so I think there's, like if you were to continue this adventure, I think there's opportunity, right, to do some good stuff there. And I mean, I think there's a lot of good openings for things that you could do, right, to kind of pick up and continue from here. But yeah,
I kind of wanted to end that interaction with stay thirsty, my friends.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
That would have been awesome. Oh man. Yeah,
I did not expect that to be Duncan, Idaho.
I wondered if you were going to pull anybody that was from any well-known characters into this adventure. So I'm glad that it ended that way. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Very cool. Well, that was I think that was probably my favorite 2D20 playthrough or actual play or session that I've enjoyed the most. I think that was definitely and of course it has a lot to do with the fact that we had a great GM with Will doing that. So thank you, Will. And of course,
absolutely. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, you did great. Thanks.
We had a great team. So guys, thank you so much for trying out Dune on the show with us. And I'll just remind folks that if you'd like, you can pick up the PDF of Dune in the link down below. It's an affiliate link, so if you purchase it, it doesn't cost you anything more, but there's a little bit of it that goes towards my Drive-Thru RPG account, and it helps me pick up RPGs to feature here on the show. So I greatly appreciate that if you do. If not, you can also download the adventure that we played tonight, Wormsign. It's the quick start, and that's free, and that link is also down below. And you can get your own players together and play this, and hopefully they're just as successful as we are when they have their session of it. I think that's gonna do it. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Will, again, thank you for GMing this session. It looks like we've got some high praise in the chat for Will. Thank you. And Hungry Ewoks had a great time. Thanks for the show. Thank you so much. I'll remind folks that if you've watched all this way and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We love featuring all sorts of RPGs here on the show, and we have weekly shows, usually on Monday nights, and we try to do a few actual plays every month. So it's greatly appreciated. And you can also follow us on Twitch and Facebook. Just search for Victory Condition Gaming. That's going to do it for this session. I appreciate everyone that tuned in. Be safe and be well. And remember, winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you would be so kind, and make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that we're supposed to do here. It really is greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to support us more, you can check us out on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Victory Condition Gaming. We have all sorts of Patreon perks, and it definitely helps support our show. Thank you so much.